Okay, friends, on my YouTube channel, there is some major spirit going on here on my heart chakra. Do you guys see that pink orb? There is a serious orangey pink orb on my chest, which is fan-fucking-tastic. Excuse my English. But I had a great healing session this morning that I performed on myself, of course. As you know, I am also a healer. I do energy healings on myself when I get the chance to do so. You're going to have to excuse the lighting. You can see there is like full light here. But unfortunately, sometimes, I don't know. There's that fuchsia light again. The angels are here. It's kind of orangey. It matches my lipstick. But anyways, today what I want to talk about is, because I did promise that I'd deliver to you guys messages, the mediumship messages that I received by Abdul-Baha back about a week or 2 weeks ago when I was at my Iranian friend's house. So there is a very strong association with him, his family, and my ancestors, and that which the legacy that which he has brought forth with his father. As you guys know, my great-grandfather and my great-grandfather's cousins and that side of my family, they were Armenian Fedayis. They traveled the distance. Not only just the Armenian women, men, and children, and the civilians did they protect, but they traveled to Europe. They protected the Balkanic regions. They protected other areas of Europe. I have cousins in Germany. I have freedom fighters in Europe and Germany. Till this day, healers, natural medicine healers in Germany. And the list goes on. You know, if you watch my older videos and you're new to my channel, you should know that I come from a background of freedom fighters. I come from a background of tribal shamans. I come from a background of priests and priestesses, and I come from a royal lineage, ancient royal lineage of ancient people. Okay? So, now, as you may know, my great-grandfather, he was caught at one point. He was sent to the Ottoman Empire, Ottoman prison. And he escaped. He escaped a few times, actually. But it was in prison where he met Abdul-Baha, the son who created the religion, Baha'i religion. And it's not so much that Baha'i is a religion per se. It can be a community of individuals and unity. They're all about unity. They all believe, man and woman is equal. One is not more dominant than the other. But you do know that, this coming forth in society plays a huge, massive role. There's parts of this world where people feel women are more dominant. There's parts of this world that people feel male are dominant. But the truth of the matter is, dominance is an inner thing. We may be taught on a society as a whole, cultural, religious, based on the way we were brought up, one person is more. That's a different story. I'm not going to get really in detail about the messages that I received while I was there with my friend and her daughter, about, my ancestors and such, but because I do know lots about my ancestors. However, and what has brought her to my family, because as you know, what I said about her is, her and her husband, they were originally from Iran. They never knew each other. She was 20 years old when she met him. They got married in Turkey. So her family moved to Turkey from Iran. She doesn't speak much Turkish, but they moved to Turkey. She met her husband there, and her fiancé, or the so-called man that she was, meeting, he went there for business. They got married there, and then they came to Canada, and the first job she ever got was at my dad's business. Okay, so it was meant to be, of course. And the thing is, when something is meant to be, when Spirit is doing the work, when Spirit is bringing forth people to create a legacy, to create a lifelong or future generations to come legacy for the people, for the future of people to enjoy, to become, to work with, to, as a whole. Sometimes no matter what you try, because it is a contract that your spirit has created and signed before you incarnate on earth, okay? And that doesn't mean that I'm saying I believe in the Baha'i religion, the Baha'i spirituality. That doesn't mean any of that. But what I'm saying is there is some spiritual work that's beyond the mind can grasp or fathom for me to even be able to explain to you in a very practical sense. You know, as you may know, I am a very practical person. I'm somebody that wants results. I'm somebody that works very hard for what I believe in. I'm not delusional in a sense that I'll talk about things that I have absolute no concrete, you know, certain things. But, you know, like I come from a concrete evidence that I come from this royal lineage. I have concrete evidence that I have shamans and priests and Fedayis in my ancestries, and how, you know, all the hidden stuff in the books, all the ancient truth in these religions, as well as spirituality, as well as these governments have been destroyed, ripped apart, rewritten, and it's all false. Because the ancient royal kingdoms have been destroyed, and the baby souls are now taking over these kingdoms and queendoms and ancient lineages, okay? So, as I said, they met in prison. They were acquainted in prison. And I do recall from what I was told from that medium. As you may know, I'm a medium. I can receive messages, and I don't have to be like, oh, in that state where I have to, like, be in a trance state and go into another world. It doesn't work that way with me. My inherited powers are so strong that I don't need to go into any dimension or astral project or leave my body or anything of that nature. I don't work that way. I don't use any tools. I don't need that, and I've done it so many times with so many people. Like, I have lots and lots of experience with this. But they met in prison, and Abdul-Baha actually supported and helped my great-grandfather very much deeply. I know my great-grandfather was going through major psychological crisis in a very huge state area in his life. As well as Abdul-Baha, because he was going through, he was taking over his father's belief system, and you have to know they had something, a very strong, stable, common, and that was they were both being exiled from their homes. They were both in an Ottoman prison. They were both all about, you know, having their heads cut off, having their families and their belief systems, all that stuff taking place. Now, you can have many, many different interpretations and say, well, you know, Armenians were part of an Israeli tribe, or the Baha'i religion is part of an Israeli forefront, because, you know, there is a community in Israel. But the truth of the matter is, Israel is a government, just like every religion is a government. Just like every organization, non-profit organizations, is it not a government? It's all a government, okay? Now, I'm not saying anything that... Now, this may confuse so many people. I may bring this message across, and it may confuse you. And some of you, it may ring a bell, and maybe understand it a little bit. But look at the spirit, but it's a loving spirit. And I feel like I'm setting them free by expressing myself and just saying what it is, because there are, like I said, there are powerful spiritual influences involved that no matter what people try to do, it will bring things to manifest, it will bring things to happen, because there needs to be a legacy to leave behind. Now, I'm all about leaving a very supportive, loving legacy. That is what I'm here to do. Okay? Despite what people think about the Baha'i religion, or religions in particular, I am not a religious person. I don't believe in religions. With all due respect to any of the religions or the Baha'i faith, I'm not saying I'm taking on that religion at all, but what I am saying is that we have spirit guides, we have ancestors, we have spirits that bring forth situations and people to continue a form. Okay? So if I create something and mold something, someone else may come forth and be part of it, or take the aspect or the idea and try to mold it into their own way, so it becomes a Baha'i faith or it becomes a Baha'i religion. Hence, if I leave it to myself and I create it, or if I choose to create it with like-minded hearted souls and individuals, it doesn't become a religion. It becomes more of a certain organization that supports perhaps men, women, and children who have been to juvenile, who have been to prison, who need counseling, who need to be taught how to unconditionally love and support themselves, who can have support and protection in an environment, and to work up towards how to better themselves and their lives, how to work out through any trauma they've been through, any incorrect path they've chosen to take that has led them to juvenile. You know, the list goes on. So I'm giving you kind of, I'm not getting into super detail about this stuff, but I'm giving you certain ideas and certain concepts of what I can bring forth to the table, an idea, something that I believe in, something that I believe my path is about, something I've experienced in my life and what I've seen works, and what I know and what I've seen through all the different walks of life. I've walked with and supported and protected all forms of people, all forms. And I'm not directing just towards religions. I'm not directing just towards atheists. I'm not directing just towards people who have been to prison, people who have been to through sexual abuse, physical abuse, traumatic substance abuse, alcohol abuse, family abuse, rape, this, and so on. I've been through all walks of life, and I've supported all walks of life, and that's why I would not limit. Therefore, I would not be creating a religion. Rather, I would be creating something of long-lasting value that truly supports all walks of life. Whether you agree with this or not, I find that, like I said, I will be doing everything I possibly can to make this happen. Sometimes, I do know what I want. I do know the path that I'm taking. But like I said, there's spirit behind protecting certain things so that it manifests in a certain way, okay? Sometimes beyond even more than what I know. Because I do have a physical body. And, I do have the mundane things to take care of that sometimes I can get clouded with things in my mind, and maybe there's a different path of this path that I may take that may really benefit people as a whole as well as myself better than the one I thought at first, right? Or I may come across or meet somebody who truly, truly supports what it is that I'm doing so that we can bring it all together to the forefront all together, okay? So, leaving legacies behind, right? It all has to do with what you have in your ancestors, what they've accomplished, what you've accomplished this far, what you've experienced, and the list goes on, okay? So with due respect to all the spirits, in due respect to all the supporters, in due respect to you guys for watching and believing and doing all that you do, like I said, there's still a lot that's being taken place. There's still a lot that I will be talking about, but I will be unfolding and giving you the knowledge and the information in divine right timing when everything comes forth together properly, you know what I mean? One step at a time. I don't like to mix things up. It sometimes happens, but I prefer to be organized with everything. So, is there anything else that I'd like to share about that? Their connection. Basically, it was just that support, okay? When you are being supported in a very crisis situation, it does not matter what the person who is supporting you believes in, meaning religions or non-religions. If they are supporting you and they are understanding you, and their language and their support comes from a very integrity, authenticity, you know what I mean? Then that is what helps or has helped my ancestors, as well as what has helped Abdullah. Now, despite what anybody may say about or read up on, as you may know, there is so much lies out there about lots of things in this world that people are not quite aware of, and I don't blame you, because how is it that you are going to know about everything until you really, really, truly try to find the truth of the situation of everything, really? But even in Europe, do you know how many genocides there have been? Do you know how many genocides there have been in Europe? And the only one that is ever talked about is only the Jewish Holocaust, which, in truth of the matter, the Jewish Holocaust was not really a Jewish Holocaust at all. Okay? So if you really read up on this stuff, you will be able to find it, as well as the truth of Christianity. Okay? I hope you're happy, Spirit, for me communicating this information, because I'm doing the best I can without disrespecting people's beliefs, with giving vital information for me to move forward one step at a time, as well as for you to understand where I'm coming from and where I'm planning to go. I am, as you may know, I am part of certain things. Again, you may have to go back and watch my older videos to really understand or grasp. I may be someone who's misunderstood quite frequently. I may be someone who's misunderstood quite frequently, but that's okay. You know, I've come to that terms of, as much as I communicate myself, there's always going to be people that misunderstand me, misunderstand where I come from, but that's okay. I can't please every single person. But I guess the message with this video is sometimes there is a higher power, a higher force, a higher spiritual calling, a higher spiritual form of protection entities that is really making things happen, and we as humans with physical bodies are walking in that direction, or fighting off that direction, or moving forward and living our purpose the way it's supposed to be intended. And you know what? That is what I'm doing. Just like I encourage every single soul on this planet to do, to find out what their life calling is and to move forward in that direction, whether it brings in the money or not, whether it's a career oriented or not. It can take you 5 years of studying your hobby, 10 years to master it, to be it. Sometimes we don't even master everything, but it takes time in order for us to really realize this is what we are going to do for the rest of our life, because we're doing it every day, and this is what I want to do as a career. This is what I want to do and leave a legacy behind. Some people don't choose to have a career with their legacy. Some people just end up leaving a legacy without even realizing it. Do you get what I mean? So I just hope this is not confusing you. So I'm going to make it short again, guys. It's like 18 minutes anyways. I'm saying goodbye. Bye to the orbs. Bye to the spirits. Bye to you guys. I got to charge this phone. This camera, it's cutting out again. And we'll see you guys short, okay? It's May 15, 2016. It's a Sunday. Tomorrow's the 16th. And just wishing you guys a great week. I most likely will not be seeing you tomorrow, but I will be doing videos pretty soon, okay guys? So we'll speak soon, and you will see me in the next few days. Bye!